Right, so who am I and what do I do? I am Gary Clark. I'm the technical director at Careium. I've been in the Telecare industry for just coming up to 20 years now. So what challenges did we experience before using Yokeru's AI calling platform? From an operations perspective, we always did manual operator calls, whether that be welfare checks, whether that be medication reminders, whether that be customer satisfaction surveys, which we had a obligation to do via our TSA accreditation. Service, on any of those calling scenarios, it was not scalable in any way, shape or form. If we needed to expand that service for any reason, then we would have to recruit as a result. That service was also hit by absences or staff holidays, etc. Trying to cover those manual calls on a regular basis. So that was the real challenge, especially moving towards winter pressures, where there could have been customers that wanted calls at short notice. It was very difficult to deliver that manually for them, certainly at short notice anyway. We would have to go through extensive planning to try and accommodate ad hoc short notice requests. If Yokeru was if there was any hesitation in implementing Yokeru at the start, that would have been solely around change and the fact that it was so different to us. We used to historically work off of spreadsheets, and we would plan the customers that we were calling within the team from a spreadsheet. Changing the process is one thing, and ensuring that new process is adopted and the relevant training is carried out across all of the operators that are involved. But equally, the change for the client, because changing a service from a human-based approach to an automated-based approach, is a significant change, especially for elderly or vulnerable clients. It was important we communicated that effectively. It was important that we ensured that we got any clients that we should exclude from the service because they weren't ideally positioned to receive an automated call. So that was the hesitation initially. I think it was quite a significant project, considering that we delivered circa 3,000 calls a week, via a human-based operator. So to move that to an automated service required planning, significant planning, and training and coaching and mentoring all of the relevant operators and clients that change was adopted. I think the hesitation was overcome by ensuring that, we effectively communicated and we made changes based on the initial pilot and trends that we had experienced. So, for instance, if we saw in the initial stages, a significant decrease for any reason in the clients picking up the phone when that automated call was delivered compared to when a human delivered it, was there ways that we could more effectively communicate the telephone number that it was coming from, how to use the service when the call was received, and also ensuring that the housing authorities, local authorities that we deployed, these calls for, on behalf of their clients, would be aware of the change and that they could help us reiterate the change and provide any support to the end clients as possible. And some of it was down to co-production, seeking feedback from those clients in the early days to understand what's working for you, what isn't working for you, how could we change the script to accommodate, the solution, and just ensuring that we make those changes and, adapt the service accordingly moving forward, was really, really important to the rollout and the increase of the adoption rates that we saw. I would say that from a client point of view, the client now knows that they are going to receive the call at the same time every day. It's going to be, in effect, the same person. It's an automated service that's delivered. They're asked the same questions. There is consistency in their day. And equally, they can receive that call on their landline or their mobile phone, and that can be changed, just with a simple communication back to our monitoring center so that they can take that call anywhere, whether it be, they've gone on holiday and they still want to receive their welfare check-in service, they can still receive it, wherever they are at whatever time they want to. Changes are easily made, and I say those calls are consistently delivered, which has really, I think, helped clients' independence and understanding where, they should be and where they're at certain times of the day. So that's definitely is the key thing from a client's point of view. From a Careium business and operators point of view, it's allowed us, a great deal more flexibility when it comes to the tasks that our operators undertake, because, 60% of these calls now are delivered in an automated way. with 40%, now being delivered by an operator. And that was 100% before. So those operators can now focus the time on the clients that need it the most. With the peace of mind that every single client is still being checked upon, and that their well-being is being catered for. So, that's, I think, been a really important, probably job satisfaction piece for the operators that are delivering that service on a daily basis. They understand that, they can go about, their daily duty, understanding that all those clients that were still checked upon before are still being checked on. And equally, they've been able to take on some other tasks as a result. It's now not just a dedicated team that are dealing with welfare check-ins day after day after day. They've dramatically reduced the number of calls that they're making, which has enabled them to take on other tasks within the department and team. We now utilise sort of 7 different use cases for the Yokeru service, whether that be welfare checks, medication reminders, customer satisfaction surveys, alarm tests, the list goes on. And equally, we are, actively looking at further use cases that we can utilise the platform for. Not only have we managed to, within the space of probably just over a year, increase the utilisation and adoption rates of the automated service from sort of like 45% when we first went live up to near on 90%, because of the work that we've done, with the clients to try and increase that adoption. But, some of the really positive outcomes that have been generated as a result, we implemented this for a frequent callers pilot, and, one of the clients said to us that, they felt a lot more reassured receiving a daily welfare check, and it actually reduced the number of alarms that they placed into the alarm receiving centre. So, there are countless commendations and situations where we've had, either positive feedback from the local authority or the client in regards to that automated service. And, that's, it brings all the hard work to kind of, fruition, really, that you've implemented a service that is having a real benefit to people's lives. It's token to, the way the operators have utilised that service as well. That was a significant change for them. They probably, really enjoyed on a daily basis talking to certain clients, but, they've really run with that change of technology, and utilising that platform and owned, the process really. And, the important thing for us back, when we implemented Yokeru, certainly within the sort of first 3 to 6 months, was the feedback, from those operators using that platform on a daily basis to ensure that we could work with yourselves at Yokeru and make the important changes to the platform that benefited them and also, the end client as well. I would say that it's about understanding if there has been positive outcomes that have been generated as a result, that it has improved your workforce efficiency, and that it's reduced, the business's cost when delivering that service, because that was a big piece for us, ensuring that, we built a business case for the implementation of Yokeru that would do all of those things. And there is a significant cost reduction in implementing an automated service like this and replacing, a human-based approach, or should I say a blended approach, because that's exactly what we've got. We haven't got a solely automated service, and we haven't got a human-based approach service anymore. It is 60-40 in effect. And if we also wanted to, deliver automated calls and human-based approach calls to one single client, that is absolutely possible, because it is still reducing the number of calls that we're making physically. So I think they're the 3 key things: workforce efficiency, positive outcomes for the client, and cost efficiencies